Hi, and welcome to my weekly Master Your Art Skills program. My name is Vlad Yeliseyev, and today we're going to paint an approach and I show you how to deal with trees. And I'm going to use a couple of synthetic brushes. I'll show you exactly what I'm using, and I'm going to use, most important, Hahnemuhle paper, which has a rough surface. So let me show you how it's done. One brush, so-called sword brush, it's made by Rosemary Brushes, and we developed this brush together. So that's what I'm going to use. And another brush, I will probably use number 12, synthetic brush. And that brush is very useful when I paint the crown of the trees. Over here, I'm going to show you how I mix for my green colors. I'm using cadmium yellow. And if I'm using medium green color, I would use cobalt blue, mix of cobalt blue and cad yellow. I'm going to warm it up with yellow ochre gold. And most important, please pay attention how much water I'm using right here. It's about sort of 50-50. Water versus pigment right here. When we're painting trees, it is most important to realize not what's going on inside of the crown of the tree, but I usually pay attention to the outline of the crown of the tree. As we know, like different trees has different shapes from the distance. When we look at the trees, they look really different. Some trees, what we call crown canopy trees, their crown is very wide, like this, for instance. Okay, and look at what I'm doing. I'm holding my brush like this, not like a writing pen, but mostly like horizontal to the surface of the paper. So I would use this part of the fibers against the paper to use it. Some trees are, for instance, there could be lollipop trees. They are more round than wide. I'm going to keep it slightly wet by using atomizer here. And so instead of painting really each individual leaf, I'm just paying attention to overall shape of the tree. Now, when it comes to the core, the center, lower center of the tree, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to darken the tree, mix here the green with indigo or ultramarine, using still this cadmium yellow. That will get me much darker green. And to warm it up, I might use some burnt umber. Look at this. And while it's still wet, I can just add some darks. That will create more three-dimensional appearance of the crown and kind of much more interesting presentation. After that, I'm going to use this sword brush to paint the trunk of the tree. I'm going to mix my dioxazine violet and burnt umber. I might use sepia a little bit to darken it. And look at this. I'm loading this brush. This is brand new brush, and removing a lot of pigment from this tip. After that, I'm going to press firmly against the paper to create a wider line. So from some time already, I quit using the liners and I'm using the sword brush right here. Look at this. It's very interesting, nice silhouette. And this brush will let me, as you can see, I'm going to zoom in slightly to use to vary the width of the brush stroke from almost like a hairline in this area to the wider appearance of the trunk. And that's about it. That color of the trunk, I can even use a little bit inside to break away with very green appearance. And of course, you can use any color with this method and just make it more interesting. There and there, you know, there could be some runaway branches, etc., etc. The dragging method of painting is very, very effective when you paint the trees. I'm going to show you another tree right here, let's say cypress. And you see, I'm starting in the heavy part of this tree and then just dragging it up, creating sort of very complicated appearance. If you want to, you can make another one, smaller one, and just use it just like that. Again, a slightly different color. Sometimes I use even burnt sienna in the middle somewhere if you want some to warm up this green a little bit. And that's it. There is nothing else you can add or remove. Because trees, very rare, the trees are serving sort of, look at me, a focal area in the painting. Most likely and most frequently, they just sort of kind of like fillers in the painting. A faraway tree could be done with something very, very transparent. I'm mixing right now cobalt blue with this leftover trees and a little bit of dioxazine violet could be. And then you can paint a faraway tree much lighter. Look at this, like a foggy appearance. But what I do, I'm using the same method of application. And that looks pretty good. And it works most of the time. This could be cypresses there, far away, you know. And to break it even further into the distance, I'm using itemizer. And sometimes somewhere, I just soften the edge to push the trees in the background. And that works pretty well most of the time. I hope you like this demonstration, and I hope that, most important, you will be able to use these painting methods when approaching trees. So until next time, thank you very much. Again, my name is Vlad. Bye-bye.